It looks like the interview that American journalist Tucker Carlson conducted with Russian President Vladimir Putin not only managed to have the effect that its creators expected, because as we can tell from the numerous reactions, comments, and the unbelievable excitement in pro-Western social media, this interview has really changed dramatically the opinion of many of them, literally causing them to write eloquent posts. And on top of that, it's had a direct impact on Americans, causing some of them to take action. And what kind of action? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today, as well as discussing some potential connection between Tucker Carlson's arrival in Moscow and the presidency of the United States of America and why this interview became so popular. Everybody, hi, this is the news clipping. Thank you for staying with us. And before we begin, we're going to get started. We urge you to please give this video like this video and subscribe to our channel. By doing so you are giving us incredible support and motivate us for more quality content. And now, sit back, pour your favorite beverage, we're gonna start making snacks. And we're going to start by trying to explain why the interview had such a dramatic effect, because it would seem that it didn't seem to have any serious consequences. Even though it was a long time ago, Putin has been interviewed by foreign media. First of all, let's note that they did it in such a way as to distort the essence of the interview by cutting up the segments as it suited them, conveniently and provoking the Russian president in every possible way. And it's not just about uncomfortable, it's more about frankly narcissistic journalists like Tucker Carlson, while in Dubai, gave a clear description of such people and the way they do their job against the backdrop of what he himself tried to demonstrate when I was planning this interview. A lot of people thought that I was being paid off. Of course, I didn't go to Russia not to promote Vladimir Putin, and even if that was my goal, I would have said so because I'm not ashamed. I did it because I felt that the majority of Americans on whose behalf this is all being done don't really know what's going on, and they don't know anything about the guy there. They're supposedly at war with, and it's not official, and I just felt that my job, if I have a job in this world at all, is to bring information to people so that they can make their own decisions. And so I wanted to do as long an interview as possible with Vladimir Putin that had as much as possible talking about Vladimir Putin and not me bragging about what a great man I am. I'm a great man when an American journalist interviewed someone like Vladimir Putin. The whole point of the interview was to say I'm a good and you're not. And this interview was addressed to his colleagues in the news in the United States. It doesn't work, and it's not my job to say I don't care what God thinks of me, what my wife thinks of me, and what my four children. And that's all I care about. So I don't need to prove that I'm a good person. I want to hear Vladimir Putin's speech so that people in my country can appreciate what's going on, Tucker Carlson said at his speech in Dubai. Also, for many foreigners, the key factor was comparing Russian President Vladimir Putin to U.S. President Joe Biden, because the same pro-Western propaganda that didn't allow you to really get to know Putin as a person. The release of his remarks only intermittently, mostly in the media and on television. And in the media, there were cartoon pictures on which Vladimir Vladimirovich was portrayed by Anna as someone he is not, who he really is in reality. But the interview made it clear to many American viewers realized that Putin is a man first of all. Many, of course, noted Putin's great intellect, calmness, and good judgment, and also emphasized that quite often the Russian president mentioned in this dialogue that he has tried to establish contacts with America and with NATO. And he has done so repeatedly by a man who you think is laughing to take over the entire planet. Is he going to tell an audience of millions of people to tell them that he's open to negotiations and wants a peaceful an agreement? They write in the comments underneath the interview, but our fart, the countries, you can't confuse the countries. Now they've put their trust in the old one. A senile man who sniffs people, or a confident leader who thoroughly knows the history of his country. That's what Americans are saying on social media. The shift in Western attitudes is evident. It's not for everyone, of course, but many have begun to question the rhetoric that has been endlessly broadcast abroad. And while some are only at the stage of accepting and comprehending the information, there are those who have decided to take actions, as most people know. Tucker Carlson, while in Dubai, made a resonant statement that the Russian capital, in his opinion, is better than any city in the United States, which seems to have prompted some foreigners to see for themselves in person One Native American named Joe Reddy has stated that he would like to visit Moscow and also the northern capital of Russia. Even though I have a chances of being on some kind of list for my words, but I can't keep my mouth shut. Peacekeeper. Every speech President Putin makes is filled with great meaning, and it seems to me that Russia has the kind of leader that you can feel a real sense of pride. And we Americans, unfortunately, we lack that. The United States needs a strong right wing. The only thing we have at our disposal, Trump, is not enough. I'm at least filled with a sense of envy that Putin just realizes where he is and who he's talking to. Why do I have more confidence in Putin than my President Biden? I think Putin is the last person who needs this level of relationship with America. The Putin we're seeing right now is the result of United States policy. Of the United States, Joe said on his social. It has also come to light that Joe Reddy is not planning to go alone, but is gathering a group of like-minded people under his post about his trip to Russia. He was supported by more than 1,500 people, and the first trip is supposed to take place this weekend. Well, as they say, Moscow welcome your guests. As for Biden, of course, after Tucker's interview with Putin, there's been a lot of attacks on the mental state of the leader of the United States. The mental state of the United States leader. The president's residence had to once again assure everyone that he was perfectly fine. However, it wasn't not a couple of days later, he counted Egyptian President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi as the leader of Mexico, sparking another wave of negative comments about him. And in general, everything that is going on at the moment in the international arena, so to speak, may not be as simple as we think. Presumably it's a topic for a separate video, but we'll try to open up a little bit some of the speculations and theories. The thing is, Tucker Carlson is a pretty close friend of Trump's, and that he didn't come to Russia, he came to Russia not only to do an interview but also to be some kind of an envoy or a mediator. That Putin had a meeting with Carlson and dialogue not under the cameras during which, according to the journalist himself, they discussed a compromise on the Ukrainian, the details of which, of course, Tucker is not actively disclosing the details of which, of course, Tucker is not actively Drew, and the topic that Trump has promised to consider the participation of the famous American journalist in the election campaign as a running mate and therefore a candidate for Vice President of the United States, which is, by the way, likely because already now Trump has not become a formal party nominee. He is the frontrunner in the race. According to polls, have him ahead of the incumbent president and fellow Democratic candidate Joe Biden means becoming Vice President of the United States of America. For Tucker Carlson is not a distant or reality given his abilities and his current ratings. And then it's a long way to the presidency. What do you think about it? Opinion in the comments. We think you definitely have something to say, and also don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can give us a lot of support. Thank you for watching and have a great day.